gang, there's a 14A and B. I'll probably just do them in separate videos. So let me start with 14A. So graphing this rational function, the first thing I did was I factored out the common factor of a 2 from the numerator. And this is a difference of perfect squares, so I factored that. Then I figured out what the domain is. The domain is that you can't have the denominator set equal to 0. So that was why x can't be plus or minus 3. For the x-intercept, I set the numerator equal to 0. If I do that, I get that x is 1. And because this binomial has an exponent of 1, that means that this x-intercept is odd. Odd x-intercept means that you go through the x-axis. The next thing I did is I found the y-intercepts. To find the y-intercepts, you have to let all the x's go to 0. So I did that over here, and that gave me -2 over -9, which the double negative then makes a positive of 2/9. I then got the vertical asymptotes. Remember, the vertical asymptotes come from the denominator of the fraction, but it's the numerator has to be a non-zero when the denominator equals to 0. So it's a non-zero over 0 makes the VAs. So I got plus or minus 3, and because the exponent on each of these binomials is a 1, that means they're both odd. And both odd for vertical asymptotes means that it goes in opposite directions. So if one is going north, the other one is going south. Opposite directions is what odd means for VAs. Then for the HA, I got y is 0 because the degree of the numerator is linear, which is degree 1. The degree of the denominator is quadratic, which is degree 2. So because the degree of the denominator is higher than the degree of the numerator, remember the rules I gave you, that means that's going to collapse to 0. So if the degree of the denominator is higher, the horizontal asymptote will always be 0. And it will cross. We know it'll cross because if you have the horizontal asymptote at 0, but you also happen to have an x-intercept on the x-axis, they obviously have to coexist. So we know they'll cross. All right, so to draw this, the first thing you needed to do was put down your x-intercept and your y-intercept. And because you know they had to connect like this, you knew that there were no other x-intercepts, you knew it wasn't going to like come down this way, you then knew that it was just going to ride the VA up this way and the VA down this way. If you ever get confused, you can of course plot more points, okay? You can always add more points if you're just unsure. Like you could let x equal to 2 and you'd see that it comes down here. All right, so once we're over here, this vertical asymptote at 3, we know it's odd. So if this side is going south, we know that on the other side, the function has to be going north. So since this is going north, this will then sit around the vertical and the horizontal asymptote. Then over on the left side, since this guy was up here, and we knew that this vertical asymptote was odd, since this guy was up here going north and this is odd, we knew the other guy was going south. And because it was going south, we knew it was just going to ride the asymptotes over here. We only cross at 0, so it wasn't going to cross anywhere else. Okay, gang, I'll pick up in the next video the part B. Catch you. Bye-bye.